Talk about some mental illness on Twitter. What else do you find on Twitter these days? I'm sure you've seen the video already. Lady Gaga.
I mean, do you think they've really seen it?
I mean, I saw it on Twitter quite a lot because people were like, look at her. She's such a saint for helping this photographer up.
I love the low standards of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I saw it, I was cynical because I was like, I mean, the guy was already getting up. He didn't need your help. You were just running over to look like a good person. That's what I think with all celebrities. It's like everything you do is posturing. But this guy, this photographer at the Oscars, he took a spill and I'm sure he felt very embarrassed. Lady Gaga runs over to him when she sees that he has fallen, helps him up without really helping him up, honestly.
He's like already up.
Yeah, he was already up. So I was like, why are you even running to him? I mean, you can't really win though, because if she were walking away after seeing it, then they would all be like, wow, what a terrible person. She didn't help him.
Yes,
but then if she runs over, she's still like in the wrong because he's already getting up.
Should we play the video?
Yes. So basically people are now accusing this photographer of being creepy toward Lady Gaga. So let's watch this video and see if there's anything creepy going on.
Oh, I'm reading it.
Yeah,
yes.
without the soundtrack.
Oh, he touched her side.
Oh, play that back. Play that back.
Let's
slow-mo.
Right there. I feel an assault claim coming on.
I have a feeling the reason that it is look at that look right there. The look that she gives, that's why people made a remark.
That's just what Lady Gaga looks like.
Well, no, she looked down to where his hand was. I guarantee that's the thing. If she didn't look at his hand, see when she looks down?
Then she gives him like a side eye?
I don't think she gives him a side eye, but look at when he gets up. He touches her, and she looks down at where his hand hit her.
Her whole demeanor changes after that from like to
okay.
No longer concerned.
So the person that posted this video said, wait, now I see why she snapped back to being serious so quickly. He slapped her hip/ass unnecessarily. Men are honestly gross. This is not friendly on his part at all. Her arm was right there if he felt the need to go for a gesture.
Yeah.
I want this photographer to have a strong talking to by whoever employs him. Is
really
the Academy
embarrassed.
seriously going to allow people like him on the carpet? At the same time,
Insane.
please can we stay positive for Lady Gaga? I in no way want this to end up sensationalized or overshadowing her night.
Oh my God.
Then, when people were claiming it was because of the cut of her dress that lengthens her torso and makes it look like that's, you know, not as close to her ass as it was, she said he was bamboozled by the cut of the dress. Please shut your victim blaming and misogyny. It's so thinly veiled. And then they ended the thread. Before I see one more reply that's like, he was just saying thank you, I need you to seriously consider if this was Colin Farrell, Austin Butler, or any other man that helped the paparazzi up, would they get such a friendly gesture on their ass of all places? Simply no.
Yes, they would.
Actually insane.
He would have done the exact same thing.
I felt like I was going crazy because all of the replies to this tweet thread are agreeing with her and saying that the photographer was being creepy. Like, he obviously was in a moment of embarrassment, probably also like, you know, being starstruck maybe. Like, I just want everyone to leave me alone and stop filming me. And do you think that he is like making micro calculations of how to seem socially appropriate in this moment?
Or like, is he there? It's like, this is my moment. I'm gonna.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you. We can just take a moment to like meditate on this for a second. This was Brett's internal monologue when he saw that tweet.
Read the profile. Read the profile.
Okay. Oh gosh.
The bio, I mean.
Yeah. So this person's bio says, she, they, 24, sound is my life force. Lady Gaga is the mystery that carries. You're 24 and you run a Stan account.
Dude, Stan Twitter is one of the worst places.
No
in the entire
one
world.
who is as old as you should be running a Stan account. That is teenage behavior.
Also, I want to point out that like embarrassing, like everybody, the memes about like when a waiter says enjoy your dinner and then you say you too to waiter.
Yeah.
Like I had something similar like that happen to me. Not a waiter, but like somebody basically said like asked me for advice about running a podcast, right? And then like he said like nice to meet you and thank you. And I said yeah, it was good. I stopped and I literally almost collapsed.
Wait, what do you mean? Why is that bad?
Because it made no sense. Like my literal
I guess
words,
you should have said it was good to meet you.
Yeah,
but
what I said literally made no sense, and I wanted to die of secondhand embarrassment. And that is likely
That's
what
not secondhand embarrassment. That's real
firsthand,
embarrassment.
yeah.
That's you.
Okay, first. Fair enough.
my
Secondhand
God.
embarrassment is on TV when you're embarrassing
okay.
someone on TV.
Okay, so this
This
guy.
parasocial connection, by the way, is so apparent. This person also said in the replies, I'm seriously upset because that moment where you see it in her whole body, she is sucked back into every moment she has gone through that before. And it comes across so vividly. If you're also a trauma survivor, you know that feeling.
I hate the internet. I do.
You're projecting onto somebody you don't know.
College was a mistake. Letting people learn how to read and write was a mistake. It's a joke, kind of.
Stan culture was a mistake.
Stan culture was a mistake. Celebrity worship was a mistake.
The industrial. This reminds me. When I say the Industrial Revolution and its consequences,
That damn printing press.
This.
what does that mean to you?
She shouldn't have been running a stand-up car. She should have been working in a
She should have
factory.
been
Industrial
churning
Revolution and its
butter.
consequences have been
She
a
should have
disaster for the human
been
race.
doing something
Coal mine.
productive for society. Yeah, go work in the mines.
None of you guys
Nerd
know,
for
pick
the-
But
up on
like,
that.
this
You know
guy
what?
literally would have grounds for defamation against this person because he literally did nothing.
Okay, it's her hips. He's not touching her butt.
Well, when she walks away, you can see that the way the dress is cut, it has her entire ass out. But, whose fault is that?
That's your
It's
fault.
the stylists at the Oscars who wanted every woman to be wearing, like, a piece of tissue paper instead of an actual gown.
There's one from Steve Ryman.
Steve Ryman said, most likely the guy didn't want to touch her transparent 304 attire. Really, you're an adult. Wear clothes which aren't transparent if you want to be taken seriously or respected. See-through is a cry for attention. Honestly, I mean, it is the fault of the dress, most likely, but Lady Gaga is the one that chose it. It's the stylists that are choosing this. There were tons of women at the Oscars wearing basically nothing. They were basically in their underwear,
This guy-
wearing like tulle, like a sheet of tulle around themselves and call it a dress. Like, this isn't clothing.
This guy should go and like coach a baseball team where he like pats the guys on the butt because that's what you do in baseball, and then he can make it even. Then it wasn't creepy. He's just a guy who has a job that requires him to constantly do that. This is
They also
insane.
said, I hope she's okay. This is so triggering. You are like a caricature of yourself.
There's a Fisher Spooner song called "We Need a War." I'm not
So,
saying that means anything, but go listen to "We Need a War" by Fisher Spooner. I'm just saying.
Gosh.
Twitter is a cesspool. Let's see. This is why I'm kind of happy that Twitter has worked out so well for me, in the fact that I only end up with this stuff when Mary shovels it onto the show. Like, this stuff doesn't, like, Mary's the one who finds the, she
I'm
goes
finding
digging.
the toxicity.
She finds it. I don't find the toxicity. And I just, like, it's not even her. Her reaction's fine. It's the people talking about her and
Yeah.
putting words into her mouth.
Honestly, her reaction was not as strong as anyone was saying it was. Like, she was just, making sure that he got up and then walked away. Not that deep. It's not that important.
I love this.
This is just like overanalyzed.
Whether it was malicious or not, it's definitely weird. He easily could have touched or grabbed her shoulders or arm and said thank you rather than pat her back like that. Okay,
They're acting like he reached around and like squeezed her ass cheek. Like, that didn't happen. He
dude,
barely touched her.
dude, I can't with these.
And
people.
if she was reacting that way, she would have no right to.
Like, this is like did you see the video the other day of the girl who got kicked out of the gym for like she's like standing in front of the mirror and the gym worker comes up to her and basically said like, you can't do that. He's like you have to go.
Because recording is
Yeah,
against the
like-
rules. Yeah.
Like, this is like, we are in a world where we're constantly having to defend women against stuff that's not even an actual problem. This isn't an actual problem.
I mean, there are actual scenarios in which women need to be defended and protected.
This is not that.
This is not one of them. This is just an excuse to throw vitriol at a random man. And by the way,
to build awareness, Mary.
There's a $20 super chat that Phil
take
loves.
every opportunity.
Clef the Misfit said, learning to read and write was a mistake. Brett is a wait, what does it say?
Neo-Gastonist.
Yeah.
Confirmed?
Who is?
Me, because I said
Brett?
that the printing.
he's not.
I was the one
he's
that
Mary
You
said
maybe
it first.
that.
You might be the neo.
I'm
Printing
joking.
press was a mistake.
I'm joking. Mary means it. I'm like, in this case, I'm just like, look, we need to put like screen time limits for people, and maybe we should just make it punishable by law to have any type of Stan account over the age of 18. If you get caught, you get community service the first time, and the community service is to run a Stan account for somebody you don't like.
Look, I'll admit it. I ran a Stan account, but I was a child, so that was normal.
Like, this lady should have to, like,
If you're 24 and you have a Stan account,
who was it for?
it was just like bands that I liked,
Okay.
random bands.
This lady should be, or whoever this is, should be forced to run a Stan account for this photographer. Like, they should have to make Lady Gaga
poor
photographer
guy.
Stan account.
Look, I mean, people are always saying, like, you know, in this post Me Too era, you really can't even, you know, hit on women anymore. But these days, you can't even fall on accident and then be approached by a woman trying to help you.
Man falls
There's
at
nothing
Oscars
you can do
and
to
gets
avoid that.
Man falls at Oscars and gets embarrassed. Women most affected. Like,
How can I make this about me and my trauma? How can I cash in my trauma coins today?
it's
the same, you know, elitist scumbags who defended the way that, you know, service workers and all of the photographers and staff that work at a place like, you know, the Met Gala or all of these award shows have to wear masks.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you know, the people posing on the carpet, they don't have to wear masks because they're the elites.
Yep.
They're in a different class.
Yeah.
and it's the people like these people on Twitter that defend they basically promote their own subjugation. They're like, oh, well, you know, they don't need to, they can't wear masks, they can't for the show. These same people who are defending Lady Gaga and putting down some poor schlub they don't know who has no name, no face. All he's going to be known now is the guy who assaulted Lady Gaga's right side. And the lack of
literally
respect
was
for the common
nothing.
man is more depressing than anything.
Gosh.
Like, it's just like every time we have to cover something like this, I'm like, the world is like, some days I'm like, the world's not as bad as it seems. And
Like,
then I see stuff like this, I'm like, the world is worse than
I
it
said
seems.
this yesterday, but I'm going to repeat it. Like, the girls that are commenting on this being like, if that were me, you are palpably, like, noticeably horny at the idea of some guy groping you. And I think you need to manage that, maybe hide that, you know, like suppress those feelings and not subject yourself and your issues onto everybody else.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe think about why you imagine yourself getting sexually assaulted so much.
Yep.
That's like really weird and maladaptive behavior. Like, she literally tweeted,
Wait
I
a
think
minute.
if that were me, I would have been disgusted and then froze the same as her, but I would have reacted even stronger. It's just like, it wasn't you.
I'm just like Lady Gaga. I'm just like her.
It
I'm
wasn't
just like
you.
Lady Gaga.
You're not a victim. You're not watching a replay of your trauma. You're just imagining yourself getting groped or assaulted for fun because you're a weirdo.
It's weird
You're
that
mentally
they
ill.
don't, like, for 1 second understand that, like, okay, let's say you're in this world where you're at the Oscars, you probably care a lot about what the people there think.
Yeah.
And you're a photographer, so you really care what they think. You want a photo with them, and then you fall down. Have you ever fallen down in front?
Yes.
It sucks, dude. Like, in
Yeah.
front of people, especially like on a stage where everybody's quiet and
Yeah.
you could hear yourself getting up. Like, you don't think
It's
clearly.
embarrassing.
Yeah, you don't think clearly.
Your brain does not snap from,
No.
I had just had my world shattered with embarrassment to, here, let me grope Lady Gaga's hips. That is not a real thing. These people don't live in the real world.
It's
They
so-
don't go outside. They don't have friends. They don't spend time with actual human beings or have actual human interaction.
A moment like that is the closest you are going to be to doing something embarrassing again, because your brain stalls. You're like, oh, and then you walk into a door. Like, that is what happens. That's why people fall, and then they fall again.
Yeah.
On the way behind the curtain.
Here's
It happens all
another
the time.
thing she said,
Tapping her like you could see he's like, I just want this to be over.
Men
I
are
just wanna do
freely
it.
admitting they
You can't
don't know
identify
the
that?
difference between a woman's back and a woman's ass. Embarrassing. It's about the entitlement men like him feel to touch her like that at all. If a man helped him up,
Men
do you
like-
know?
We are
do you
so
think
screwed.
he would have touched him there? No.
Yes, he would have. He would have touched
Yeah.
the guy in the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same
tap,
place.
Tap tap. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keep it
100% the
down.
exact
What
same
is
space.
wrong with you?
Dallas Saunier posted a clip the other day of him at it was at like a college either admissions thing, and there was like a book fair, and all the books on the table were all feminist literature, and
You know-
all it said was, "We are so screwed."
I mean, like the whole the way men act around women, etc. Like men are so careful with most interactions with women.
They have to be.
right? They have to be. Not every. There are definitely dudes that are that are violent and that'll attack people and stuff, but that's not the average guy. The average woman is in no way careful when dealing with a man.
Nope.
They will hit men. They will swing at them, try to hit them. I have been on stage and had women grab me. Women literally stuff that deserves physical response for.
Yes.
Um,
But you can't because you're a man.
I'm not supposed to. I embarrassed her. I said something, and she ran away from the front of the stage. But that the way that women behave when in the context of with the opposite sex is remarkably different than the way that women expect men to behave.
Because society hasn't told them that they have any that there's no standards for how women have to behave with men. They're told that they're allowed to do whatever they want.
Responsibility and stuff like that. Yeah.
They're much like that Clark Kent Superman movie that's kryptonite to them, the idea of responsibility.
Accountability is not something that
They're not fans.
Is yeah.
It'd be hilarious if Lady Gaga was like, I am never helping up a poor photographer off the ground again.
Based on her reaction, do you think she cared?
No, I don't think she cared. I think she thought
did.
about
I
it for about
think-
8.5 seconds and then never thought about it again.
I don't know. I saw a change in demeanor there. It was like, excuse me, but less of a you touched my whatever, but more
Not
like,
a-
you touched me.
Okay, but she's not coming out and saying it flashed me back to all the trauma that I've ever experienced.
She's grossed out by the fact that he is a second class
Yes,
peon.
that's yes.
Not that he assaulted her.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.